by an energy crisis, disruptions in supply chains, inflation, and interest rate rises, it looks like 2022 will go down as one of the stock market's worst years yet. With me to speak about what this has meant for the Swiss economy is Martin Lehmann, the CEO of 3V Asset Management. As an investor in Swiss small and mid-cap companies, he has first-hand experience of the challenges these companies have been facing. Hello, Martin.
Hello, Jade. Thanks for having me.
From your perspective, which companies have suffered the most?
The major topic in the current year was inflation, and as a result, the higher interest rates. We typically invest in quality growth names which come with higher multiples. Higher multiple names have been suffering the most because of this higher interest rate environment, and thus resulting that names like Logitech, Interroll or Straumann losing more than 50% of its top level in 2021, even though you didn't have any company-specific negative news flow.
Now, many of these companies, also some of the ones you just mentioned, generate the best revenue from sales abroad. How has the persistently strong franc impacted their business?
You're right, most of the Swiss names are export-oriented, but for them, to be honest, it's not a new situation. They are exposed to the strong Swiss franc for quite some time and have managed to cope with it quite well. What is most of the time, or what have been a bigger problem, was a move like 2015, where we have seen a sudden strong appreciation of Swiss franc. So this was quite a challenge for them. But if you have a move like we had this year, so it's better for them to cope with it.
All in all, it sounds like the Swiss economy has proven its resilience. Where does this strength come from?
Yeah, in Switzerland, we are blessed with not only really good multinational names, we also have very good name in the second tier, in the small and mid-cap space. Most of them are market leader in their niches, and I guess what makes them special is that they have to fight or to cope with this strong Swiss franc environment, and being able to do so successfully, they need to be more focusing on innovation, and this is why I guess this gives them an edge towards the other international companies.
Now, many of your clients are institutional, like pension funds. How did they react to this new environment?
We haven't seen much client activity in this year, so people have more or less stayed on the sidelines. So unfortunately, there haven't been many buying the dip we have seen in September. So most of them are quite passive and sticking to their positions.
Maybe you can tell me about the sentiment among these companies in the segment in the mid to small caps.
Yeah, I would say the sentiment overall is not bad, even though for sure they have to cope with some challenges. But you know, there are always two sides of the medal. You have also plenty of opportunities around. So most of the companies have quite a nice order backlog, and thus I guess this should bode well for 2023.
And looking at those companies, could you tell me which companies are a good stock pick right now?
Yeah, so naming some single stocks is always difficult, but we are quite positive for names like VAT and Comet from the semicon industry, or also Straumann or Interroll from the Swiss small and mid-cap space.
Fantastic, Martin. It was a pleasure speaking to you today. And thank you to you for watching finews.